Hi everybody, my name is Rebecca Black, and if you haven't watched any of my videos before, thank you so much for stopping by and watching this video blog that I'm doing right now. And I wanted to take a minute because I watched a video last night called Endo What? And I also watched a couple TED Talks about endometriosis, which is something that I suffer from and have for several years. And I just want to give some of you who may be struggling with it currently or need some help navigating the health system. And by no means have I been an expert in navigating the health system. I'm just a person who has been on a relentless pursuit for answers for over 6 years. And I want you to, if I can help someone not spend as much time as I did finding answers and getting solutions to my problems, then this video will definitely help me help you, I guess, because it's such a difficult journey. So Endo What is a documentary that I was recently that was recently brought to my attention, and it really talks about the problems that women have with endometriosis from, you know, society's standpoint, your own personal mental health and health, how it affects your life, your husband, your wife, your partner, your family, your work, your career. And it really is a life-altering disease. Cecile Real, who is the founder of a company called Endodiag in France, she is the one whose TEDx talk that I just watched yesterday. And she said a quote, something similar to, endometriosis is like a cancer, but you don't die from it and it can't be cured. So basically, women, 1 in 10 women, it's estimated that 1 in 10 women have endometriosis, and it takes somewhere between 6 and 10 years for someone to be diagnosed. Now, I was diagnosed actually pretty quickly. My issue has been that for the past 6 years, I have had a very wide assortment and variety of symptoms that I've been to. I don't know, in the past 6 years, I've probably been to 20, 25 doctors and been tested for more than 35 different diseases and ailments, along with being misdiagnosed with different diseases, only to find out that the majority of my problems have been coming from the endometriosis. And most recently, I found out I have adenomyosis in my uterus. And so it makes me wonder what I could have done better or differently or faster in the last 6 years when I'm seeing all of these doctors and trying to get these answers. And the truth is, I don't know if I could have done anything different. A couple of tips that I have for you that I wish I would have done starting in the very beginning is I'm going to go through the 5 things that I wish I would have done before I started having all these problems and after I was diagnosed. So first of all, I wish I would have kept a better journal of when I have symptoms and their time frames, their length. I wish I would have created like an Excel spreadsheet that said, okay, this month, this week, this day, I had X, Y, and Z, and been able to track it throughout a year and see, you know, if there's a correlation with hormones and cycles and estrogen and all that kind of fun stuff. So that's one of the first things that I wish I would have done. So if you are just getting started, or maybe you're just struggling to get answers, to bring more clarity to your appointments and to yourself, start documenting your symptoms, when you have them, when you start. And I know it's going to seem tedious, but really in the grand scheme of things, it's going to help you out a lot. Because when you go to the doctor and they ask you, you know, when do these things happen? In the moment, it's really easy to remember that it's happening, but it's very difficult to remember if you've had how many, issues you've had in the last, 6 months or so, if you're not tracking them. So track your symptoms. The second thing that I will tell you is to make sure you are collecting every test result, every medical documentation, every medical chart. It doesn't matter if it's an electric record. It doesn't matter. These hospital systems don't share their electric records with other people. They don't. They don't want each other knowing their health data. They don't want each other knowing your records. So it is up to you as a patient to make sure you are collecting all of those and keeping them in your own file. I have a file this big, maybe even this big. I don't know. I have multiple files. I have gastrointestinal files. I've got gynecological files. I've got thyroid files, and I have them all there. But I have learned and been burned to get everything. I had a doctor who closed his practice and I couldn't get stuff. I have been unable to get a hold of some surgical reports after repeated requests. So making sure that you are absolutely collecting your medical reports is crucial. Get a binder, get tabs, whatever it is. If you are having chronic health issues, make sure that you are keeping all of your records. Especially we moved. So we moved states. I had to find all new providers, and it really caused some issues for me being able to explain what happened where because I didn't have the reports. So that's the second issue. Third is, please, 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 if you are having a medical emergency or you are having severe pain, some kind of an issue, a Facebook support group is not the appropriate place to put your stuff. I'm sorry. I am in multiple support groups, and I've created support groups, and I have seen way too many people posting things in there that they should be getting advice from a medical provider and not from other people on Facebook. Granted, the internet is an amazing resource. It is amazing. And yes, it is so nice to have other people that are in it with you and, are related to the same thing. But I've seen too many people posting about post-surgical trauma they're having, mental health issues, all of these kind of things that should go to a doctor. They should go to a doctor. You should not be relying on Sally sitting in her house on the internet in a group forum on whether or not you should go to the emergency room. If your pain is bad enough that you're asking if you should go to the emergency room, you should be going to the emergency room. That's the bottom line. So yes, the support groups are great for some gathering information, finding new resources, whatever. They are not there for medical advice. Do not get medical advice from there. It's just not worth it. It's not worth your health, okay? It's not. Fourth, be prepared when you go to your doctor's appointments. So every single time I went to a doctor's appointment, I had all of those records that I previously had, because doctors don't necessarily look at your files before you come in. They say, oh, she's having this symptom and that symptom, and you go in and they want to treat that symptom and then they leave. There's no incentive for doctors nowadays to treat an overall problem that someone is having. So unless you have something that is a major issue like diabetes, cancer, those big, huge things that people already know you need comprehensive care for, they just want to put a Band-Aid on it. So you go in, your insurance bills them for an hour, you tell them you have a stomach ache, they give you a pill or a suggestion or referral, and then they send you on your way. Well, that's not okay. You need to go in there and say, look, I'm having X, Y, and Z problems. I have a history of A, B, and C. Could these be related? We need to look at this. Let's get on this, because if you do not, you need to be responsible for your health care. I don't care what anybody tells you about, seriously, electronic health records are a joke. They are a joke. And I don't care what anyone has to say about them. I have been dealing with this crap for 6 years, and they are a joke. The doctors that I have seen in the last 6 years barely even looked at them. Yes, it's a great place to compile all your data, but it is a terrible place for you to actually get care from, because all it is a big long list of everything you've had done. There's no correlation to anything or those kind of things. So you have to go to your doctor's office prepared. You have to do some research before. You have to go into there prepared, and then you have to request your information afterwards and add it to your binder, because it's just building your case. It's building your case. It's building your case. And lastly, the fifth thing is never give up. If you believe there is something wrong, and in your body and in your soul and in your heart and in your brain, you know something isn't right, never give up. If you have health insurance, max it out and go to do whatever you can. If you're struggling with health insurance, you know, there are grants and things like that for different health systems. And there are places and resources that you can find with some research, again, internet research and digging and asking to see if you can get help. So for endometriosis, one of the problems is there are very few surgeons in the country that are experts in endometriosis and can do the surgery properly, thus, and catching it soon enough, thus allowing it to, you know, maybe not come back or not come back as badly, or, you know, giving you a longer duration in between those times. And so you just can't give up. I promise you, if I would have given up, I don't know what I would do. It wouldn't cost me my marriage, but it definitely, I mean, already it's affected our marriage, because I'm not the same person my husband married 6 years ago. I live with chronic pain. I get migraines several times a month that put me out of commission. My fatigue is so bad, I don't even want to leave my house. I barely put a bra on during the day. So it is imperative for you to know that whether it's endometriosis or an autoimmune disease or, you know, some other chronic health condition, there are answers and there are people out there that can help you. You just have to keep looking, and you have to be an educated patient. Do not trust these doctors to diagnose you and give you an answer and a plan and all of these things, because it's very, very, very rare. And that's part of the reason the support groups are great, because they can direct you into places where you didn't necessarily know about. So if there were scholarships or you know, grants you can apply for, doctors who will do discounted, you know, procedures for people maybe without insurance or low income or whatever the case may be. That's where those support groups are amazing. Because if you, I don't know, I just don't want anyone to give up. There's hope out there. There are resources out there. And it takes a long time to find them, but when you do, it's so helpful. And maybe I'll redo this video after my surgery on March 31st and tell you that I was wrong, but I don't think so. In my gut, I know I'm doing the right thing. I know selling all of the things in my house, not everything, but I know selling my, you know, designer clothes and my shoes and thrifting and working harder to hustle because I've been out of work for 6 months to pay for this surgery is worth it. I know it. I know in my heart and in my gut. And I want you to have that feeling too. I want you to have that feeling that someone is listening to you and will help you through all of this. And that's why I am speaking out, and that's why I'm doing vlogs like this, because there are people out there wanting to help you and being an advocate. And I promise all of you, especially those with endometriosis, I am going to be an advocate for all of us and hopefully be able to make some changes, because if we aren't the ones speaking out about it, nothing's going to get done. And I understand there's a stigma of, you know, people don't want to talk about vaginas and uteruses and lady parts and all of those things that people consider to be dirty. But guess what? They're human anatomy. They're happening to 1 in 10 of us, and it is unacceptable the way that women with endometriosis are treated. It is unacceptable. Unacceptable. And I will try to do whatever I can about it. I'll join patient advisory boards and advocacy committees. I don't care, I'll do it. I will do a video every month about endometriosis and how, you know, you can live with it and my experiences and everything. If I can help a few people with this and I can help make a difference, I'll do it. I'll do it. So hopefully these 5 tips will help you if you're getting started, if you've been started and you're very frustrated. It takes time and it's frustrating, but know that there are solutions. There are solutions, I promise. And we will make progress on this. And it has to come from all of us. We have to have a voice. We have to talk about it. March is Endometriosis Awareness Month. April is Adenomyosis Awareness Month, which I also have, which is why I'm having a hysterectomy. And the bigger impact we can have, or the bigger mouth we can have, the more resources we have, the more information we share, the more luck we have in the future for creating better lives for women with endometriosis. So as always, thank you for watching. If you're interested in learning how to make money while you're, you know, on disability or you can't work because of these chronic illnesses, that's what I'm also here for. I started a thrifting business, which I've done as a hobby in the past, but now I'm doing it more full time because I just can't do a 9 to 5. And that's okay. And I'll show you how to do it too. I have multiple streams of income. I can show you how to do that all from your own home. So don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Stick with me. Hopefully I'll see you after my surgery. And if you have any questions, I'll answer them. Just post them below or shoot me an email. Thanks a lot. And as always, I appreciate you watching. Bye-bye.